Setsu sits at his table daydreaming during his break when Yuhi interrupts, wondering what he's looking at. He sighs and reminds her that they are not supposed to be interacting because he does not want annoying rumors about them to spread. She doesn't care about such things as they have been friends since childhood. As he tries to complain, Yuhi changes topic, commenting on how much his hair has grown as she touches it. She feels like it makes him look gloomy when one eye is hidden. He pulls back as she offers to cut it. They pause and share a smile as Setsu comments on how she hasn't changed. He looks out again, wondering how the other world is doing, when suddenly the place becomes dark and a magic circle appears in the middle of the classroom. The students begin to panic. Setsu is a little surprised at first till he figures out what's going on, which makes him grin with excitement. A bright light engulfs the students, causing them to flinch in fear, but they start to loosen their tensed-up bodies as they find themselves on a random field. They look around trying to find their bearings while discussing amongst themselves on how they were at school moments ago. All the while, Setsu has a big smile on his face as he recognizes his environment. Their attention is drawn to a hill as they hear loud thuds approaching. Their curiosity turns to fear when a unit of giant armored demon knights march towards them. Some speculate that they are on a movie shoot, but this is quickly dispelled when the sinister-looking knights dash toward them. Everyone starts to panic and begins to 10 toes to safety. However, Setsu stands his ground. With a moment of hesitation, Yuhi jumps in between him and the attacker as it comes down with a mighty strike. Setsu grins and deflects the blow with a single finger, which sends it flying. Yuhi soon realizes that the blow didn't land and quickly lets go of him, oblivious to what just happened behind her. She tries to understand what transpired when she wasn't looking, but Setsu grabs her by the hand as he asks them to run to safety with the rest. They catch up to their classmates, who pause when they see a human army rushing towards them. The students quickly realize that they are not the target when the unit dashes past them to fight the demons. The human army takes some damage on their first charge, but the magic squad launch a few fire spells that destroy a number of demons. This gives the ground units the chance to engage better. At this point, the students hide in a safe place overlooking the battle. Setsu is a little confused because these wars should have ended. He notices that there is cursed magic emanating from the demons. This gets him excited because the feeling in his chest is unmistakable. Elka comes across the student wanting to know what they're doing in such a dangerous place before asking them to retreat. Setsu recognizes her as she tells them that the Royal Knights will protect them now. Glane joins her as they leave their elite unit to engage the enemy. He dashes and lands a critical strike on one of the demons, causing it to lose balance. Elka follows up when she jumps off her horse and summons ice spears that rain down, taking out more sinister knights. Yuhi watches in awe, remarking on how strong their saviors are. Setsu agrees and suggests they get out of the dangerous area. After the battle, they are taken back to the kingdom where the king has an audience with the group. He thanks them for arriving at a time when the nation is in a state of emergency. While labeling them foreign heroes, he informs them that their kingdom is being invaded by demons. During the last war 5 years prior, a similar group of heroes came to their aid from a foreign world. So he sees this repeated event as a sign of destiny. The students' murmurs of confusion are met by the queen, who assures them that what they are being told is true. She points to the monument that commemorates the peace the hero brought to their war-raging world. The queen understands things may seem alien to them at the moment, but she pleads for their aid in repelling the latest threat. These guys got summoned like they are some new iOS update. The students are a bit hesitant because they don't know how to fight, but they rationalize their chances and decide to stay. This makes the monarch happy as they have already prepared rooms for them all, so they should get some rest for now. As the students make their way to their new accommodation, Setsu assures Yuhi that he will not allow any danger to come to her. Over the coming days, the male students are trained by Glane on swordsmanship, running through drills and preparations to face the enemies. Meanwhile, the females are taught how to use magic by Elka, who demonstrates by summoning an ice spear. The girls struggle to replicate the instructions. With some determination, Yuhi conjures fire for a brief moment, which makes her joyful. Setsu hides and watches, acknowledging that she has a talent for magic. He heads back to his training and bumps into Elka. She begins to criticize him for slacking off on his first day, calling him not admirable. Elka stands there with a wooden sword and points out that they are going to war soon, so addressing his superiors in a casual manner is not permissible. Setsu is not intimidated by her warning. She is impressed by how calm he is given the situation they have been thrown in. His selfish attitude reminds her of the hero that saved them 5 years prior. He was egotistical and uncaring of how the women around him felt. Setsu laughs because he knows she doesn't know that she's talking to the same guy. She warns him that the world is more dangerous than one may think and orders him to get back to his training. Looking at his attitude, She asks him if he wants her to force him to go. Setsu states that it sounds fun and would like to see her try. She dashes towards him looking to give him a little lesson in pain, but he easily dodges her attack and hits her rear end. From the impact, she knows who it is and calls his name as she submits before him. She has been waiting for so long to see him again. Setsu just wonders how long she's going to stay like that. She looks up at him with love in her eyes and apologizes as she remembers that she must become a human chair for him. But he comments that he didn't ask for that. Moments later, Setsu is sitting on her, and she remarks that his weight is different. He explains that this body is built differently from his previous one, but the guy finds it creepy that she can tell. Elka admits that she feels joy when in servitude to him, as she calls him master. Setsu deflects her affection. Glane walks past and is confused at what is going on. Elka excitedly tells him that Setsu has returned with this new batch of heroes. He's a little skeptical that the guy sitting before him is the same Setsu he knows, but given the state of Elka, he accepts it as so. The trio later make their way to Thea's lab to inform her of the great news, but she already knows and welcomes Setsu. The other two are shocked, but Setsu the hero anticipated that she would catch on quickly. The sorcerer then says that even with his new look, she couldn't mistake his magic power. He's happy that they are all fine and he could fulfill his promise of coming back. Talk moves to the subject of the new war on the demons, so they make their way to a more secluded location. They are interested to know how he returned to their world and why he looks so different. By their understanding, he just disappeared after the battle. He looks at the marks of his final clash with Toma, who was the villain. He recalls the events after the fight, explaining that he was reborn in a different world while keeping his memories and magic power, and after a while, he got summoned into this one again. They all don't know what the deal is, but what is certain is that it's not a coincidence. Setsu wants to know what happened to Toma after his departure. He suspects that the villain could be behind this war too because of the way the demons are being controlled by a curse. He is the only one capable of doing something like that. Elka reveals that they searched for the villain, but they couldn't find anything. But seeing that Setsu is alive means that there is a high possibility that he survived too. They are interrupted when one of the soldiers informs Glane that the king requires his immediate presence. He makes his way to the throne room where the king has a war meeting. He regrets striking a peace deal with the demons and states that the kingdom will declare all-out war on them. Glane stands up pleading with the king to be patient. He points out that the emissary they sent to the demonic continent is yet to reply. He feels like they must first accurately understand the situation. The queen points out that it was the demons that began with an unprovoked invasion against them. She knows that justice is on their side, which is why the new heroes were summoned. The other officers clap in approval at her point as Glane looks unworried. The king doubles down on his earlier statement that they shouldn't have listened to the hero's words in the past. He believes that with the hero going missing, God wants them to unify the world. All the while, Yuhi stays back to practice her magic as she can use wind magic too. It has only been 2 seconds and this girl is already turning into the avatar. Setsu interjects, praising her affinity for magic, which gets her a little shy, but she is worried that they are practicing how to hurt people and doesn't understand why they have to go to war. She suddenly cheers up, proclaiming that she will use her talents to protect Setsu. Her words move him. Later that night, the hero meets the trio at the wall. Glane reports that an all-out war seems unavoidable, but he managed to buy some time when he states that the newcomers need more training. Setsu alerts them of his plan to stop the war by himself again. The trio volunteer to follow him as his guard, but he advises them that their presence is equally needed in the kingdom in case the enemy attacks. The following day, they sneak near the special storage area using Thea's magic, but Elka rushes in to take out the guard. Her rushing in first brings back memories of their dungeon exploration days. While they gain access to the room, Yuhi is nearby and can sense that Setsu is up to something, but she carries on walking with her new friends. The old hero goes straight to his great sword Kuramaru, declaring that it's been a long time. The other guards find their colleague knocked out, so they sound the alarm. Glane and Thea hang back to give Elka the chance to escort Setsu out, but the way he drags her, I think it's the other way around. With everything in place, Setsu says his goodbyes to Elka, who tells him that they will try and delay the war for as long as possible so that he can complete his mission. Yuhi followed her intuition and catches up to them just before he sets off. She rushes and holds him, asking where he's going. He opens up, confessing that this is the second time that he has been summoned to the world, so to stop the war he must meet an old acquaintance. She wants to go with him as she desperately promises that she will be useful, but he lets her know that it's too dangerous. It is also a journey he has to undertake alone. He doesn't want to put her in harm's way. She concedes, but asks him to close his eye. City Boy was expecting a goodbye kiss, but she showcases her significantly improved magic control by cutting his hair without consent using wind and fire magic. With both his eyes now showing, She promises to get stronger so that she can protect him. He flicks her head, stating that he will know if she has gotten stronger if she dodges it next time. He waves them goodbye before setting off. That brings the episode to an end.